Morning once again, guys. We need to talk. I mentioned these points before, but I thought this is a very important topic, and I want to do this video where people can easily find these tips in a concise manner. Actually, there's 5 ways to protect your Challenger or Charger. Number 6 is kind of like a secret one. I'll leave it till the end of the video. So I made a list. So top 3 are the most effective and cheap ways, but they're the most effective, the best bang for your buck to protect your beauty Dodge Charger or Challenger from the bad guys. So number 1, you avoid the relay attack. So you need something that blocks the RF signal. So this is called Faraday pouch, right? And so it has a pouch inside, not the first one, but this one, with a little keychain. So whenever I keep the keys in my apartment, or I leave the car and I go for a walk, I put the keys like this, and then I put it on my belt, or I just put it in the car. If you don't want to spend, what is it, like 20 bucks on Amazon, if you don't want to do this, just never ever keep your keys open like this near a window or door of your house close to your car, because that's the easiest, absolutely easiest way to steal this car. The relay attack, right? They use a couple of gadgets where they can make the car think that one of the bad guys has the key, even though the key is inside your house or your apartment. He just puts the hand under the handle, opens the door, gets in, pushes his foot on the brake, starts the car, drives away. Of course, the car will be beeping, no fob, but it'll still be driving. So that's like 10 seconds, I don't know, 5 seconds. So that's number 1, the most effective, simplest way to protect your Charger or Challenger. Number 2, there were too many complaints about this, right? I think in 1919 and 2020, when people, especially in the States, where they were stealing these cars left and right, and thieves were usually targeting either Hellcats, you know, or like regular Hellcat, wide body Hellcat, red eye, Demon, stuff like that. But even like 6.4 Challengers are pretty popular. When I had a Charger 5.7, even that one, because it looks so nice, you know, and as soon as I put V8 on the back, you know, it's funny, that's when some bad guys try to break in. They try to break a rear corner window. I got that because, you know, on that car there's nothing to show that it has a V8. It just says Dodge Daytona, like mine was Charger Daytona 5.7 RT. I think in one spot it said RT. Yeah, no, I think it just said Daytona everywhere. And so no V8. So finally I ordered some stickers from Amazon, and they look pretty good. As soon as I put those stickers on, somebody tried to break in. So bad guys like big engines, V8s, right? And so after so many people were complaining about this, you know, calamity, Chrysler finally decided to do something about it, and they issued a PCM update. PCM update where your security system was beefed up. They introduced valet mode, which basically is like, if you select that one, I think it's like 3 miles an hour or 5 kilometers an hour. They cannot drive it faster, right? So if you leave your car and you activate that mode, you know, but still at 3 miles an hour, if they drive for 1 hour, they'll be 3 miles away. Like, how do you find them, right? But the most important part of this update, I think it rolled out in 2021. The most important update was the feature called fob cloning disable. So the best part about that is that nobody will ever be able to duplicate your key, because the second easiest way they steal these is they get any kind of Chrysler car, from a Ram truck, from, I don't know, Charger, Challenger, doesn't matter, any kind of key. They break the window, they get in, they use a special diagnostic tablet, and within 60 seconds or less, they will duplicate your key. So they will reprogram their existing key to make the car think that they are the owner, right? And they can start and drive away. But of course now with a broken window. And in Chargers, because it's a 4-door car, only the front 2 windows are under the alarm. And that's why they were always breaking the rear window and climbing in. But I have a Challenger, so I'm pretty sure that on this one, as soon as they break the window, the alarm will go off. But it takes them 5 seconds to open the hood, grab the fuse, kill the alarm. It's just ridiculous. Most alarms, like factory alarms, they don't have a secondary battery, right? So as soon as they take that fuse out, the alarm dies, right? Then they jump back in, they duplicate your key, they drive away. And so I was bugging my dealer, like ever since I got this car in December 22, and this Friday, right? So when I took the car out of storage, I called them and they said, yeah, it's available. Okay, and I said, I know the risks, because yeah, the best part is that nobody can clone the key, but the worst part is that nobody can clone the key, including me. So if I lose my 3 keys, and I have 1 black key and 2 red ones, so if I lose any like keys, I will have to pay for a new PCM, because that's it. Once that fob cloning disable is done, it's locked. There's no tricks, no passwords, no wires. That's it. The PCM is kind of like it's baked in, so no keys can be cloned. So that's it. So that takes care of 2 most popular ways to steal your Charger on Challenger. Number 3. Again, the top 3 are the easiest ones to implement, the cheapest and most effective. So number 3, under this plate, like if you pull out this rubber piece, there's a ring and a cable, and even like you're not touching anything, but you pull that ring and the car goes into neutral. It's done for, I'm guessing, when you break down, you cannot start your engine or something like that. But that's number 3. If they cannot steal your RF signal, if they cannot clone the key, another way they do it is they break the window, they take out this rubber piece, they pull it into neutral, 2 guys push it in the back, 1 guy sits behind the steering wheel, 1 sits on the street. They bring the second car and they push it into the bumper. They don't care, and this guy is steering, the guys in the back are pushing, and that's it. It's a bit messy. It will leave the car with damage, right? But if they want the car, that's how they do it. And so you can get a plate. There's a guy on YouTube called Destroyer 1320, I think. That's where I got mine. It's a metal plate. You can just you can do it yourself, but I didn't want to mess this nice chrome in here. So when I was doing my number 4 defense item, I asked the installer to install that plate. So I brought my own plate, and they said, oh yeah, we have all the tools. So they didn't scratch anything, so they just put it in. So now when the bad guys open this rubber, pull up this rubber piece, they won't be able to put it in neutral unless they have some drills and massive tools and stuff like that. But nothing can stop them 100%. But the idea is not to stop them, the idea is to slow them down, right? Because the clock is ticking. Once they break into your car, the clock is ticking, the alarm is going off, neighbors are calling 911, so they don't want to be sitting there drilling your plate, right? And so that's I call it neutral gear lockout. So number 1, Faraday pouch or a metal box for your keys, fob cloning disable, neutral gear lockout. That's the best, most effective, cheapest 3 ways to protect your beautiful Charger or Challenger, or any other modern car for that matter. if it has these features like I mentioned, like the neutral gear. Like I don't know if other cars have it, but on mine it's all locked now. Now number 4, this one is expensive, but I think it's good, and I did it. So it cost me 1,400 Canadian, about 1,100 US, and that's called Immobilizer. I was actually looking for a pin code start system, like something like what you see on excavators and expensive machinery in Alberta, for example. There's a little panel with numbers, right? So when you turn the key, it says enter the pin, just kind of like when you start your computer, right? It says enter the pin. But for some reason, this simple to grasp and understand system did not get any traction in US or Canada. Like in Europe, in UK, all high-end cars have this, right? You turn the key or you push it into, you have push button start. It will not start unless you punch in the pin, your code, right? So I could not find that one. I found something similar, but this guy says it's not gonna work on my car because this is a 22 model. But he says we can do an Immobilizer, which is the next best thing. And I gave out some wrong information before. I said that nobody will be able to start the car. That's not true. Immobilizer, the whole idea is that you can still start the car. I can still do a remote start, like what I did this morning when I wanted to hear, the exhaust when the car was cold, because it sounds much better when it's warm, right? So I can still start the car, but Immobilizer means that the car cannot move, right? So the engine starts, but actually happened to me already once, right? So I messed up the code. You cannot put the shifter into drive. That's the whole point of this Immobilizer system. So you have to use the factory buttons on your dash and your steering wheel, and you enter the code only you know. Of course, they give you a factory code, they give you like a basic code when you get the car, but then you can change it. Like I have a little manual over here. Owner's manual, new smart vehicle protection. And they tell you exactly how to do it. It's the next generation of groundbreaking Immobilizer. And at first they were not sure if they could do it, because again the car is 22. And that's how you do it. To enter the disarm sequence, follow these simple steps. Switch on your device ignition. If the immobilization is not starter inhibit, then it may be possible to start the engine at this step. Oh yeah, I see, like it can have that starter inhibit, but I don't think mine has it. Number 2, press each button in the disarm sequence in the correct order. Whilst getting used to the process, it is advantageous to do each press firmly and deliberately. Wait until the indication signal flashes twice before starting your vehicle. Should the code not be accepted after the first attempt, simply wait 5 seconds and try again. And then you can actually pair your smartphone with the system. You do not need to enter the disarm sequence to disarm the Ghost Pro. The system will detect a smartphone or key fob and flash the indication signal twice. No, but I don't think I want this. So basically, if somebody enters the car with the key, let's say they kill me, they steal the key. No, I want to be able. I need to be physically able to enter the sequence. So yeah, the engine starts, but you cannot drive. Like it locks the shifter. And they say at first they were not sure if this will work on my car because it's a late model Challenger. But then when I came in, they said, yeah, we got the software. They said the manufacturer sent us the update, and he says we just installed this on a pickup truck. I don't remember, it was like Ford F-150 or Ram or something like that. And he says works fine, and if you have your remote start, it will still work. So everything works the same way it was before. So like I would do it, like if you have a high-end car, of course, if you have like a $30,000 Charger GT or Challenger GT, then maybe it's not worth it. But if you have a high-end car like a Hellcat, I would definitely look into these immobilizers, because at least these ones, you can find them in the States and Canada. And funny enough, this again comes from UK. Just like I said before, all these pin entry start systems, they're popular in UK. So all this technology comes from Europe, right? And so that's number 4. Expensive, but I think it's worth it. And also I think it can help increase the resale value, right? Because, you know, when you do the sale, you say, okay, I'm not gonna tell you the sequence until you pay me the money, you know? Cool. so they won't be able to start the car. But no, but I mean, yeah, seriously, it's like, I think it's a good protection, right? So that's number 4. Number 5, of course, is a GPS tracker. I looked into these. I was searching online for a GPS tracker, and the key with these is that I was looking for something super small but with a good battery life. And if you look on Amazon, you will see that there's a bunch of, sorry, it's getting hot, there's a bunch of GPS trackers, right? There's a like myriad billion of options, but then it'll say something like battery life 20 hours or battery life like 1 week. You know, what's the point? So you need something super small with a battery life that lasts like a year. Enter AirTag. AirTag. It's a tiny little thing. Look at this. So here's the keys. So it's 3 times smaller than the key. And I talked to the guy, so now like it does not require a line of sight or a cell tower, because it's not using the cell service. And so you can put it anywhere. It's not like a cell phone, right, where the cell phone might not work if you, let's say, put it under a lot of metal, like, I don't know, under the hood somewhere. But this thing will work. The downside, and so there's no monthly fees. So I just paid 39 Canadian for this. And then the guy showed me how to pair it with my phone. And so I can always see from my iPhone, I can see where this thing is. In my case, if I hide it inside the car, my phone will show me, sorry, where my Hellcat is. The downside, no monthly fees, right? So no cellular service. It uses crowdsourcing. It basically uses other people's iPhones. But you must have your Bluetooth on. And yeah, at first the guy says, put it next to your phone and you'll see a screen pop up, and nothing was happening. And he checked my my menu, and he says, oh, you don't have your Bluetooth. He says, you must have your Bluetooth on for this to work. And as soon as he turned on my Bluetooth, right away there was a screen says AirTag, registered, continue, boom, boom, boom. You choose a name, you choose a little funny picture, so you know what it is. And I think these are great. So yeah, so the downside is that if they take your car to a place where there's no people, there's no iPhones, right? So if they steal your car and they drive it to a farm and hide it inside a barn, and then they leave it there, you won't be able to see your car. So that's the problem. And so option here, so it's 5, let's call it 5A. So 5B, of course, most modern cars, they have the OnStar system. I think it's somewhere here at the top, their home menu. Somewhere, I remember it was, so I think it was this one. That's the, maybe not, but anyway, I was thinking not using it because yeah, they give me 3 months free, but then after the first 3 months, I think I was paying, I had it on my Charger, you know, as soon as, when I had that bad incident where people tried to break into my Charger Daytona, I called OnStar right away and I activated that. And so yeah, the first 3 months were free, and then, but now I got this car in December, right? So January, February, March. So the 3 months are already gone, but no, maybe they'll still give me 3 months because I didn't use it before. And but then it was like 20, 22 bucks, 25 bucks. I think I might do that, because that thing, if your car is in a barn, the OnStar will see it, okay? But so let's call it 5B. But I love this thing. So tiny, 1 year battery, amazing. And this guy who was telling me how he does this, each of his kids, he says he has 3 kids, and of course you can buy a little special, you know, like micro pouch, and you can attach to your keys. And each of his kids, he add tagged their keys. So I said, oh, so you can track your kids? And he says, well, technically I don't track my kids, I track their keys. And then he shows me, he opens my you know, like Find My Phone, the same app, right? And there's items there, and he clicks on one, and he says, you see, there's 3 kids. So I can see right away that one kid is at school, because he knows by, you know, from the map. He says 1 kid is at school, 2 other kids are at home. Well, at least their keys are, you know. It's like amazing technology. And I asked him, I said, do your kids complain? Do your kids complain? Do they know that dad is tracking them? And he said, yeah, they're okay. Anyway, before we get to number 6, let's go for a short drive, because now I'm going towards downtown a little bit, and I found a route where I'll be driving past the river, past some running trails, and the day is gorgeous. Like, it started -6, then it became -3. I think by 2 or 3 p.m. it's going to be +9 Celsius, which is like 50 F. Okay, just to check. Yeah, everything works. Yeah, it's already getting hot. It's a good thing that I wanted to get a sweater, but I just did the shirt and the jacket. That's why I never park like this, you know, like close like this. It's really can be dangerous. Like now I parked at the very end, and I just walk 2 minutes. Like, what's the big deal? Lose a couple of pounds. By the way, I ordered some interesting supplements online. Don't know if it's a scam or not. Paid like 200 bucks. And the ladies are carrying Tim Hortons, and there's a perfectly fine Starbucks inside. That's where I got mine.
Turn left toward 32nd Avenue Northwest East, then use the right lane to turn left onto 32nd Avenue Northwest East.
And I might go
Use the right lane to turn left onto 32nd Avenue Northwest East, then turn right onto Shaganappi Trail Northwest South.
so I might go for another long run to finish the phase 2 break-in. So now I'm at 226 clicks. I can do 112, 70 miles an hour up to, I think it's like 485 kilometers, 300 miles. And if I go from here to Edmonton, that's pretty much will be done. And there's phase 3, but I don't think I'm gonna worry about that one, because after 500 clicks you can do 135 clicks an hour, which is what, like 90 miles an hour, and you can do full throttle but for a brief period of time. So I think
turn right onto Shaganappi Trail Northwest South.
I think that's good enough for me. So but I'm not gonna race it, but I'm not gonna hold the speed. Well,
continue on Shaganappi Trail northwest south for 2 kilometers.
of course I'll have to go to like a racetrack or something, because where can you drive 130 without getting in jail, you know? Oh, miles per hour, sorry about that. Yeah, on these cars, on Canadian cars, see I have a digital speedometer. Of course it's in kilometers or clicks, as I call them. And all I need to do to change to miles is I just push the OK button. I push the OK, it says 40 miles per hour. I push OK again, it says 66 kilometers an hour. You know, like you cannot do this in an American car. But the downside is that before they used to give you miles. So nice, my speedometer, like the analog one, only has kilometers. Like there's no miles anymore. And basically it's 10 kilometers apart. So 0, and then there's a small line for 10, and then there's number 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So every 20 kilometers there's a number, right? And believe it or not, on this Hellcat,
in 600 meters, use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto Bonus Road northwest.
the top number on the speedometer is 340. 340 kilometers an hour. I wonder if anybody ever reached that. And what kind of a ticket would you get if you do? If they,
use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto Bonus Road northwest.
if they catch you doing 300 kilometers an hour, that's like what, 200 miles? Yeah, so 100 miles is 160, so 200 miles is 320. Yeah, basically that's what it is. So the top 340, that's just 205, 210 miles. All right, so now we're getting close to the river. So that way, in front of that big hill, there's a Bow River. Bow River, and I wanted to go on a hike, you know. Just took, when I didn't have my car, I thought I would take a Uber and ask him to drop me off somewhere here.
Continue for 1 kilometer.
Because you will see it's like a gorgeous area over there with paved trail for like biking. I'm telling you, I'm really like, whoever runs this city are doing a great job for people, you know, like fitness, for families. Like there's trails everywhere, biking trails, you know, walking trails, hiking trails, super nice. I'm really thinking about getting a bike, maybe something like a folding bike that I can just throw in the trunk. And this Challenger has a huge trunk, so I think the technical term is, quote, you can put 3 bodies in there, end of quote. This is it. This is, you see to my right, the people walking. So there's a biking path here, and there's a trail over there where those guys are walking. And this is great because you can take this pretty much all the way to downtown Calgary, you know. I think it's like about 10 kilometers. I really wanted to do this, but it's probably better on a bike because, again, it's all paved, you know, you're next to a river. This is beautiful. So I think when I get a bike, I'll just do, you know, kind of like a GoPro, put a GoPro on my head and just do like a biking tour of this trail, because this is just, you know, especially a day like this. So they have 2 separate trails, one for pedestrians or runners and one for bikers. Like this one next to me is for bikers, that one closer to the river is for runners, like that cute lady that I just passed. And yeah, I've never been here. Like I could probably, you know, bring my fancy camera here and see, oh, the guy on a scooter. the guy was driving on an electric scooter, so maybe I can bring my camera and I can capture some birds in here. This is beautiful. Almost went in there. I don't need that one. Actually, wait a second. So I said the trail. Oh wow, what was that? Some big bird, looked like a small eagle. So that's the downtown. Oh yeah, the trail is over there because the river turns. So yeah, it does go Model Train Show, April 15th, supertrain.ca. I'm always on the lookout for, you know, what to do in Calgary this weekend. I'm always searching on Google. That's how I found that wine festival, and that's how I found the race, that 10-kilometer running race. So yeah, the river is to my right, private residences are to my left. See a biker. Yeah, maybe, you know, when I come back I should maybe look on Kijiji or Facebook and see if somebody's selling a cheap bike. Oh, I just watched that you know, movie about bike couriers in New York City. What was the name? Like a cool movie where they're racing against time to deliver that ticket to a lady, you know, like ticket for the money you deposited with when the way they transfer money. And so one of the guys, he had a drag bike, you know, never had that one. It's kind of like a racing bike, but it has one gear and no brakes, and it doesn't have any freewheeling. Like, you always have to pedal. So this is somewhere. So basically where I'm going approximately to the area where my dealer is located. And you see, we're driving past the river. Beautiful. And there's a pedestrian bridge. Actually, yeah, when I was researching this, I wanted to start at this bridge because I didn't realize this trail starts so much earlier. But this famous pedestrian bridge is where you can also, I think from here to the end it's like 10 kilometers, so like 6 miles, 6.5 miles. So the thermometer says +6 now. +6, which is about what, like 45 F. Yeah, that's a nice bridge. So kind of, yeah, I'm gonna do the chapters, right? So that if somebody who's interested in security systems only can avoid this, but if somebody wants to watch kind of like POV driving in nice weather in pretty much downtown Calgary, so this is it. We're gonna call it POV driving. And you see, we still have lots of snow, but as you can see, I always like to see this dirty old snow, ugly black. So that's when you know that the spring is coming. You still have snow, but it's old and ugly. the river, the downtown is over there. The lady is walking in a t-shirt, but with long sleeves. It must feel warm. And you can take pictures from there. I was there on the top of that hill. There's super nice pictures of the downtown from that hill. It must be that biker. The biker hit the button and decided not to wait. So I'm still 7 clicks away from my destination. But yeah, it feels awesome, you know, after 3.5 months without a car, and now I have a car, and not just any car, but a Hellcat with all leather inside and 717 horsepower. But again, like I see, I'm driving, I'm accelerating super gently, but this thing has so much power. I don't know what kind of axle ratio it has, but it picks up speed, you know, between lights like effortlessly. And I hardly touch gas. Just have to watch the speed, because here it's 50 clicks an hour, so 30 miles an hour. Yeah, I met a guy recently, and we started talking about cars, and I mentioned my Hellcat, and he says, oh yeah, I would be interested in getting a ride in that. And then we keep talking, and he says, I hate American cars. Like, wait, why would I give you a ride if you hate American cars? And you'll probably just be making fun of the car, and you know, like if I want to give somebody a ride, it should be somebody who says, hey man, that's a cool looking car. Like that guy when I was at the I wasn't sure how many lanes we have here. I was at that alarm store, and a guy came out, and he was looking at my car. So yeah, the speed limit is 80 here. Come on, move it along. Coming through. This is your captain speaking. Alright, where are we turning? We're turning 3 clicks, we're turning left. And one more thing I want to try, you see like these? They have, it's not even a train, it's like a streetcar, but it's fast. It would be cool to, you know, just do like a GoPro video from inside the streetcar, or what is it, like speed tram or something. I never was inside one. Okay, so we're almost there. We're away from the river. That was the most interesting part of this, I think. So I'm gonna stop here and we'll continue with security measure number 6, the secret one that I promised you guys in the beginning.
Hey, buddy.
Right. Custom.
Custom made?
No, it's not custom. I just changed this and I changed this. Nice. And I added a red dot. So it's a Mossberg 590.
Oh,
it uses,
it's a pretty good one, eh?
uses magazines.
Magazine fit shotguns. I always wanted one, man.
Okay, I'm gonna start shooting, okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Empty. One mag is empty.
Oh, how many shots was in that?
10.
10? Oh.
Yeah, these ones you can buy 5 round mag, 10, 15 and 20. I have 10 and 15, but 15 is like this. Too big.
20 is bigger?
You know, 15 is like, you can see it's double stacked.
Oh.
So actually it's this
a little bit shorter.
This called 10, and then 15 is maybe this much.
Yo,
But yeah, these are expensive. This is like $100.
$100 for
Yeah.
I just bought it yesterday.
Oh, which make is that?
Winchester.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, haven't shot a shotgun like.
Oh, there's no mag, you just have to load in there, right?
Yeah, I know.
How long is the barrel?
18.
Oh, same as mine.
It's a pretty short one, so you
Yeah,
can't use it for
put a
hunting.
red dot in here. Like this was like $250. It was $250, but it's really nice.
Oh.
Yeah, it has a red dot, you know.
Oh yeah. This one's got like a little.
Yeah, you can use that, yeah.
Yeah.